Hello, Central Pierce. This is Battalion Chief Adam Jackson. I'm going to be talking to you about the strategic plan update. For those of you that don't know, we started the strategic plan in 2018 and launched it in 2019. So we're just starting our third year of the strategic plan. Why am I talking to you about the strategic plan? Well, I know with COVID and with everything else that we've been going through, a lot of people don't really remember either why we did the strategic plan, where is it, how far along are we in it? So I wanted to give people a brief update. I'm the chair of the strategic plan. Captain Caldier has started off and then he stepped down and I took over as chair of the plan, which is why I'm the one doing the presentation. So why do we have a strategic plan? It's really a roadmap or an agenda, if you will, to keep the department focused on what we believe is important, what direction we should be headed in, so that we stay on track and keep working forward in a positive way. The initiative managers, there's 6 initiatives within the strategic plan, and I'll get into those later. Each initiative has an initiative manager, and we had a meeting and discussed our goals for 2021. What we decided was we wanted to continue pushing with as much as we can of the strategic plan during 2021. We also identified initiatives and goals that needed to be paused. One of those is initiative number 6, which is regionalization and cooperation, and that was due to COVID. It's been very difficult getting meetings with other departments to form regional work groups or planning groups, so we had to pause that for 21. There's also fiscal constraints due to COVID, so we paused a couple of new employees that were going to be brought on to the Prevention and Education Division, and that's had some impacts on one of the initiatives as well. Another big lift was the preventative maintenance evaluation. We've had to pause that. None of these things have been canceled, just paused. There's also been some political obstacles. The fire marshal concept of us taking over fire prevention for the entire county just didn't really come to light. There really is not enough support at the Pierce County Council for that to move forward, and we've run into some opposition with the master builders over a couple of different initiatives that we tried to push forward. COVID has definitely impacted the strategic plan. It's limited our in-person activities by groups, which I talked about earlier with Initiative 6. It's hard to get together and meet with other departments to talk about partnering with them for different things. Workload constraints. A lot of people, everyone that's part of the strategic plan is also a full-time employee at Central Pierce. So their workload and a lot of times has gone up, which has then impacted their ability to work on the plan. Like I've mentioned already, there's limitations with other agencies, and then just timing because of the fact that we were in a pandemic and we really had to focus on things. We tried to limit some of the items that were maybe good to have, but not critical to have. So we really pared down on what objectives we were working on. Initiative number 1 is culture and communication. And I'm not going to go through all the objectives. It's managed by Captain Ferrier and Lieutenant Kamke. I just wanted to give you a visual of this is what each of the initiatives look like. And a lot of them have more objectives than this. I just put up one page of them. But as you can see, the objectives are designed by who should be working on them, what task team, the timeline of the objective, whether it's a short term, it's ongoing, long term, what the status of it is, and then notes. And the notes really help us to keep track and also to let us know, are there issues? Are there any roadblocks happening? Do we need to move forward with it? So you can see they've actually completed quite a few of the objectives within their initiative. Initiative 2, which is financial sustainability, and the manager is Tanya Rohrbacher on that one. And they've been able to get, again, a lot of things done. We've had to pause a few things. Initiative number 3, which is professional development, managers Assistant Chief Flores, firefighter paramedic James Sobel. This initiative is near and dear to me. I just got done with our Nash Consulting training today, and one of the main reasons why we went through the Nash Consulting, which was leadership and development training, was based upon the strategic plan's recommendation from this initiative. All the chief officers in the department, along with all the division heads, completed 40 hours of leadership training from Nash Consulting. It's one of the key impacts and key takeaways from the strategic plan, and it's something that I'm really proud to say that we're moving forward on. Initiative 4, Prevention, Education, Operations. Assistant Chief Overby, Assistant Chief Boucharda, the managers. This was an initiative that was definitely impacted by COVID. As I mentioned earlier, we paused a couple of employees, one being a planning employee and another one being a full-time public educator. A lot of the objectives within this initiative are really dependent on those 2 key positions being hired. So until those positions are hired, a lot of these objectives within this initiative within this initiative are going to be paused. Initiative 5, Marketing and Outreach. Managers Captain Shaw, Captain Roseland. They've done a really good job. They were really getting a lot of the objectives done pre-COVID, and they've continued to work on objectives during COVID. Some of the items they had to pause are things like meeting with homeowners groups, those different community meetings face-to-face they had to pause, but they've continued to work on things and really keep pushing forward. Initiative 6, Regionalization and Cooperation. Managers Assistant Chief Kent and Assistant Chief McKenzie. Like I mentioned earlier, we paused this initiative, and we're actually reassigning those managers and the task team leads to assist with additional initiatives to help them get things done. These are the task teams. So within those 6 initiatives, these task teams are broken up across those 6 initiatives. And each of these task teams has a task team lead and has task team members working on all these different areas. I'm not going to go through each one of them. I just want you to see these are all the different areas that the strategic plan touches. As you can see, it's very comprehensive. It represents a lot of different things that we want to work on at Central Pierce to continue to work towards being a great fire department. The future, we have ideas of refreshing the plan in 2022 when we bring in new leadership at the executive level. We want to make sure that they have some input on the plan, get their thoughts and ideas. We're discussing another employee survey at some point down the future to make sure that the employees here feel like we're on the right path and get your input on how we're doing and if there's new areas that we should be focusing on. We want to make sure that we're not missing opportunities to improve. If you want more information on the strategic plan, you just have to go to the info portal. On the front page of the info portal are all these hyperlinks. Those task lists are right there. It says strategic plan tasks ongoing. So if you want to see how we're doing, who's assigned to the initiative, as far as getting a hold of someone, asking them questions or giving them input, you can do so going on the front page of the the front page of the info portal. That's all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to email me about the strategic plan. Have a great day. Thank you.